ride that home crowd and that wave of emotion to a victory in this one.
Meanwhile, for the visiting Broncos, they come in 0-3 and in desperate need of a win.
And as a team, you start to feel a little bit snake bit. They need something good to happen right now.
Now the kicker, Brandon McManus, about ready to get us started. And we are underway from Ford Field. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And here's a look at their leader, standing 6'4".
And this could be a whole lot of fun because if his game plan goes into effect early, we're going to see some shots downfield, aren't we? What did he talk to us about? Stretching the field. Wants to open things up for not just his receivers, but for anything underneath.
Well, that was the theme, the front page of the sports section. What did the columnist write? Possible air raid. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the coaches view that, right? Who gave what game plan? I think it's pretty obvious that that'll help them win.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Von Miller coming hard from that linebacker spot. He drops him for a loss of 11.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
So an early wake-up call there leads to a quick 2nd and long. Back to throw. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he's able to get out to the 32. Brought down there. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Here we go. White 90. White 90.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. It's caught. Jones. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. 18 yards on his first catch of the game. It's a first down. Pretty solid start for the rookie here on this first drive, Charles.
Able to have some confidence, stepping back into the pocket, move around a little bit, find open receivers, and deliver. That just means his confidence is going to continue to grow because he's getting more and more comfortable with each completed pass.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. Fighting through, and he's got space. A decent run there following the display of quick feet down just inside the 45. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Let's go. Red 38. Red 38.
On 2nd down, Johnson. Not much there. Maybe a couple as he's taken down at the 40. And we look now at the Lions offense.
Golden Tate is a dream for a play caller as a wide receiver because you can use him all over the field. Use him out wide, bring him into the slot, circle him into the backfield where he can take handoffs as a running back. But the key part of his game, run after catch. Usually one of the top players in the NFL in that statistic.
Now the Notre Dame man, this is Theo Riddick. And he spins past him and into space. Touchdown, Detroit. Theo Riddick, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are going to take a first quarter lead. You talk about explosion plays. Here's one pretty much right out of the gate.
And now they get to ride a wave of emotion, momentum, everything. Just as you described, right out of the gate, big sprint, touchdown. They're excited. But on the other side, they've got to guard against a major letdown because they hit them right in the gut with that one. And now you start to question yourself a little bit when you give up a touchdown on the opening drive.
Now Matt Prater for the point after. Extra point good by Prater. And it's now a 7-0 game. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, the former Houston Cougar, Case Keenum.
And it's funny how we always talk about how analytics are starting to creep into the game. One analytic that's been there for a long time, teams that start 0-3 usually don't make the playoffs. So we know one quarterback today that's determined to end that slide right now. It's not impossible, but this is a must-win for him and his team.
First carry for Royce Freeman. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives him a new set of downs.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. The offensive starters now for the Broncos.
Let's focus outside on Demaryius Thomas. His numbers were down slightly last year. First time in the last 5 years he didn't top 1,000 yards. But this guy's been to 5 Pro Bowls. And when I think about the evolution of his career, from his time at Georgia Tech where they were running an option offense and he didn't catch much more than bombs, to now being a complete receiver, no reason in my mind to think he won't be over 1,000 yards again in the future.
Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Time to roll through the starters defensively for Detroit. This crew against the Pats, it's been a real struggle. Second from the bottom in the NFL, number 31.
Theories abound. People have opinions. But too often for this team this season, it's been the big play that's done them in.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Keenum to throw again. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play his own defense, when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you go make a play on the football.
To punt it away on 4th down, here's Drew Kaiser. Back deep for the Lions, it's Golden Tate. And a nice special teams job here. This is going to be down inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. So out now come the Lions. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice, and it all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he's got his tight end. This is Luke Wilson. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Well, from an offensive perspective, that sure was pretty, because the corner route It's extremely difficult to defend from my perspective.
What we just saw there, is that sort of the evolution of the tight end position?
Yeah, I think it is, because more and more, tight ends are being treated like wide receivers. These are some agile players who can make a play in any spot on the field.
Come on, let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. And here's a look at the defense for Denver.
And Ndamukong Suh was an all-pro when he was with the Detroit Lions in 2013, 2014. Many people think that maybe he might either be slowing down or not playing at the same level. My eyes tell me he's still playing at an elite level, still destroying the interior of an offense, can get to the quarterback, crush a run game, you name it. Ndamukong Suh can do it, and how about how durable he is? Hasn't missed a game since 2011.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. An incomplete pass on second down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10.
Come on, let's go! White 90! White 90!
They'll set up a throw. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. Von Miller in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here. It's taken to the 26. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Now this Broncos offensive unit ready to head back out onto the field. They were forced to punt last time. Now, I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot. Great opportunity to run your full playbook. They want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 53 yards.
They've lost a bunch of games in a row now. They've got to start thinking a little bit differently, maybe a little bit outside of the box. Find other ways to move the football. I don't know if you're going to do it through the air or maybe change up how you establish your run game.
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 5.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
From the gun on 3rd down, Keenan. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Lindsey. And he will have a 1st down as they get him to the ground at the 37. It's a 9-yard gain, and it keeps the drive moving.
And there was absolutely zero pressure on the quarterback on that play. 3rd down, and he has all the time in the world to eventually find an open receiver for a 1st down pickup.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They go play action here on 1st down. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that 1st down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up 2nd and 10. Boston Scott, his first carry. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make it 3rd and 13.
Well, that play was over before it even got started. Thanks for nothing, huh? How about that? That sets up a very difficult 3rd down call now.
Third and long. It's Keenum. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And McManus able to put it through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
Yeah, things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to the goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
After splitting the uprights, McManus to kick it away. Now Jones. And he'll take this across the 25. Couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of 1st downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Let's go!
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
Come on, let's go!
The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. And the Broncos get there and take him down.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
Let's go! What? 9!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you've got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
Riddick with a carry. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 6 on the run. It'll be 3rd down now with still a long way to go to get to the 1st down marker.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Now back to throw. This is Riddick on the screen. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
I love the intelligence the defense just showed there. Read their keys, saw the screen developing, ran to it, and smothered it. What a third down stop by them.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at about the 14. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And the Broncos take over, first down and 10. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it. All right, Brad, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. Glover Quinn there on the stop.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
From the gun on third down, Keenum. Sanders has it over the middle. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down. Keenum to Sanders for the Denver first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They'll run it now out of the gun. Looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. And trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
So 5 yards there as one of the big guys up front moved.
And in a 4-3 front, you've got the two defensive tackles right near the football. I know there's a lot of movement around there, but they're always taught to have one eye on the football. Apparently, that didn't happen.
On second down, here's Keenum. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. It goes as a gain of 8, and it moves the chains.
Well, that was a pretty favorable situation there. What would you call that? Second and manageable? Smart play, too. Didn't force it downfield when he didn't have it. Just checked it down, let him get the first down, and that's exactly what he did.
The NFL on EA Sports is presented by Snickers. You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's Bronco football to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a first down. Couple of first downs to kick off the drive. Here's first and 10 up at the 46. They'll run it now out of the gun. Gets around him, and he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Hey, when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. The Broncos on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. And on the ground they go with the running back. And the broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the second half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Back to the ground, this time to Freeman. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start. Offense.
So that'll back them up 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 7 yards on the play, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back heading onto the field again. He's over 40 yards here in the 2nd quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
Well, now he's looking just to add to his totals. Man open left side. It's Williams. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
And good penetration here. He'll get this down only to about the 49-yard line. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they've wanted to, but I think we'll see more of as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of the...
And he's going to be hit and taken down. Back right around the 48-yard line. Bruce Irvin in there to get him for a loss of 3, and it'll be 4th down.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah, what's going on? It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through tackles. Continue to feed him the ball. He's having that kind of game.
Yeah, might they get him the ball in some space in some different ways here. They'll fake the give. Now Keenum. Room here to run. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos first down. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. Ooh, with a juke. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. On second down, Freeman. And he stopped immediately there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1.
Well, after what we just saw, we know that with 3rd down coming up, this is not a gimme for the offense. They've got to figure out what they want to do. Do they challenge their offensive line and try and run it? Or do they go ahead and concede that this is a tough defense and put it in the air?
On 3rd down, it's Freeman. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He's been good. His guys are winning. So far, the recipe working here in the second quarter.
And he doesn't like to just tote the rock. He wants to carry his team on his back. And that's what he's done throughout this game.
Yeah, he's done that. He'll be hoping to continue that trend. And his throw's going to be incomplete. Golden Tate, his intended receiver. And now it's 2nd down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on 1st down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on 1st down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up 2nd down.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Now a handoff. Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 18. It's the linebacker, Brandon Marshall, there on the tackle.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Von Miller able to disrupt yet another pass play. His 3rd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Sam Martin now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. And Denver getting set to take the field. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach Can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
To throw, it's Keenan. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Lions have recovered.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. And Detroit getting set to go now. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Come on, let's go. Grand 38.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They'll get to him just inside the 15-yard line. And even after that fancy footwork we saw, good job defensively to recover.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
Come on, let's go. White, 9.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, and now he bowls him over and stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal.
Well, after getting the ball in prime position to score after a fumble recovery, you think you're in a great spot. But the defense on the field is saying not so fast, and they've held firm on the first 2 plays.
They'll try and run for it on first and goal. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
Back at the 5-yard line now, second and goal. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
When you get your backs in the shadow of your goal line, you've got to be physical in that situation because there's not a whole lot of space, not a lot of wild plays that can be run there.
That's put up or shut up time. Defensively, nice job just to make sure they didn't complete it on that play. The Lions on third down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be dropped. Back at the 15-yard line.
3rd and goal, they decided to throw for it, but how about the play defensively? Couldn't find anyone open, left him nowhere to go with the football, had to absorb the sack.
So on 4th down, the Lions turn it over to Matt Prater for the field goal try. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays that when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
And he's able to get it up close to the 35, but hang on here. Penalty marker down. And this one might be going the other way.
Holding, receiving team.
So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, second down.
And that run was memorable for only one reason. There's absolutely no place to run with the football. No gaps, no creases, no gain.
Now a handoff. It's Freeman. And he'll get this up over the 25 to the 26. It'll be a gain of 7, and they get it back to a 3rd and 3.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
On 3rd down, that's Scott.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties, and they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the second quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated, because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Come on, let's go. White 90. White 90.
Back to throw now on 1st down. Out to the right here to Wilson. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. 20. A big play there on the catch and run. 59 yards.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
Didn't take long, one play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation.
That is right. Here we go. White 90. White.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Brandon Marshall in there to record another sack, their 6th of the afternoon.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
First down, a bit of a disaster, and now on 2nd and goal, back even further.
Here we go. White 90. White 90.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
We call that a sack flush.
Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
They're going to look to throw. No, bottled up. Fumble. It's out. It's loose. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out at practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a two-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. Two-hand. Oh, I get it. Two-hand monster. Both hands on the football, taking care of it, putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
The offense trots back onto the field, and we take an in-depth look at Royce Freeman. He's just been looking for some space. Yeah, I'm not going to pin it on him or the offensive line, but they need to get this run game going better.
Sometimes you just have to credit the defense. They came in with a plan themselves. So I think now you try and mix things up a little bit. Get the ball in the hands of some other people, find some other playmakers, but always let the defense believe that he's still a threat.
I was going to say, don't forget about it.
No, don't take him totally out of the game.
On 1st down, Keenum. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
Offense.
Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
Keenum to throw on 2nd down. Man open. He's got it complete to Cortland Sutton. And he's finally taken down, but not before he reaches the 14. A big play there just before halftime. 41 yards. From the red zone now, Keenum. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Keenum to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Cortland Sutton in the final seconds of the first half. And the Broncos are an extra point away from tying the football game. So they just do get the touchdown in before halftime, and now a PAT will tie it.
So what we're seeing is one team is going to be really excited right now. How about the other side, though? Will they be deflated, or will they go ahead and gather themselves, regroup at halftime, and come back out because we had an even half?
Yeah, we did. We'll see. Should be a good second half, that's for sure. McManus's point after is good, and that is going to tie our game as we approach halftime. So that drive spanned 5 plays, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10.
Let's go! Grand 38!
They begin the drive with Johnson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. Throwing deep for Galladay. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. So thanks to the late touchdown, it's a time ball game here heading to break. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you guys in a bit. But first, time for a trip around the league on this final weekend of September. We'll start with one of those classic NFL matchups. The Giants hosting Chicago at MetLife Stadium. And it's the Giants who are out in front in the second quarter. Chester Rogers, a touchdown reception. From there, let's head off and check out a second game. And you can see there, it's the visiting L.A. Rams who have the lead in that one. Jared Goff with 3 touchdown passes. Finally, we head to the shores of Lake Erie. See what's going on with the Cleveland Browns. And they have the lead in that one over the visiting New England Patriots. Duke Johnson, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been as tight as we expected, all tied through one half of play. For the call of the second half, let's get it back to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. Here comes the Broncos offensive unit here as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. Third quarter starts with a run by Freeman. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass. But in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right. It might go to them in this game.
I like that. MVU. Well done.
Throwing is Keenum. Over the middle, complete. It's Sanders. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down. And he's top 5 in the league in terms of from him on film that you like so much.
Well, I'll strip away everything else and get to what we call the moment of truth. When the ball's arriving and there's a defender there, he just comes down with the ball. He competes and takes it away. Great hands, great ability to finish the catch.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he's going to get it across the midfield stripe into Lion territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Ziggy Ansah in there to bring him down for a loss of 7.
We are seeing 2 really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
Is there any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels?
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check-down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. Their defense did its job, yielded no points. Now it's the offense's turn.
And how much fun is that when you set things up to start a half and you just tell you guys, hey, if you can shut them down, get it back for our offense, we can roll. And they played out perfectly. Now, can the offense do what they wanted to do at the half, which is find those weaknesses and now attack them and score some points.
And break this tie. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They go back to Reddick. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Let's go.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Throwing deep for Galladay. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
Here's Sam Martin now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback. And Denver getting set to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Back to the air. Keenum on 2nd down. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. The coverage that time excellent by Nevin Lawson. But pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides, where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
And on the catch right side, this is Sanders. And he's able to get up here to the 26. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And Detroit getting set to go now. We have not seen much on offense from either side. These last few drives, it has been a struggle, hasn't it?
Totally, and you're thinking to yourself right now, if you're on offense trying to get things figured out, okay, we self-scout every week in our game plan. How many things do we do at certain times? What are our tendencies? Time to go to some of those tendency breakers and try and create some offense.
They always have those in their back pocket, don't they?
You have to, and if you don't keep abreast of what you're doing, you lock into a rhythm and make it easy for the opposition.
Looking for tendency breakers right now. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's 3rd down now. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Catch made right side by Wilson. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. To give them 27 yards on the third down conversion.
But when you hit him on the move like that, he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam. Oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a third down.
Coaches always harp on the quarterback reading the defense and getting it to the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, but when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they? One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Now Case Keenum and the offense heading back onto the field. How do you break down his game so far? Just the one touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe you change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it's going to make it third down at 6. Brandon, we talk all the time. Hybrid players, guys who could do more than one thing, and I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. He's got a man. It's Sutton that's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 14 yards there and a Denver first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Keenum now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Now it's Freeman. And now running right through it. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Drew Kaiser now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that.
And now a fumble. The ball's out. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity. They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. It's complete. Swings it out to his running back. He'll wind up being stopped for no gain, and it'll lead to a 4th down. So they go pass on 3rd and 2. They complete it, but no gain. Should they have tried to run it?
I thought that running the ball in that situation is what they would have done, because at worst case scenario, you may bring up a 4th down decision for your team. Instead, now, they're not close to the 1st down.
Now Case Keenum in the offense heading back onto the field. He's been pretty solid, pretty consistent, just the 1 touchdown pass, but I think he's managed the game well, no?
I would agree with you, and that's what you're looking for out of your field leader, making sure that you're playing well and not making any big mistakes. Oftentimes, that's how you're judged. How big a mistake and when it occurs. No interception so far. They'll like that.
I just want you to know that you agreeing with me, that's going to get me through this 3rd and 4th quarter. Are you touched? He's patting his heart, boys and girls. He's touched.
Respect.
That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it, because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic, and people wanting to put a little contact on him. Really well done.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
Partner, it's often that man coverage is easier for a quarterback to run against. You get your receivers going downfield. Those guys are staying with them, and oftentimes they have their back to the quarterback, which opens up a lot of space and room, and they don't even know that he's taken off with it. What a big-time pickup on that play.
Throwing on 1st down is Keenum. And he lost 6 there on the 1st down play. On 2nd down now, Scott. It's a 6-yard pickup to get him back to the original line of scrimmage with 3rd down coming up.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. He's going to go up top for the end zone. So they took a shot there on 3rd down, couldn't get it. Now it's 4th. There was the pressure you were talking about, force the incompletion.
And it doesn't always have to end in a sack, does it? Sometimes you can make a good play by forcing the incompletion with the pressure.
Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. And McManus able to put it through, and that's going to tie us at 13. So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
So all square here in this 3rd quarter as the kick's away. Now Jones. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Let's go. What? 90.
On the ground, it's Reddick. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this third quarter. So it's a quarter that saw these two teams trade field goals here as we've reached the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. 13-all our score as we start quarter number 4. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Now a play fake here on 1st down. And finding the tight end, Wilson. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and 12. They'll look to throw here. Over the middle, complete to Tate. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
Some think the teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
When this offense can get their tight ends involved, they can move the football. Here, a nice route, able to look it in, and picks up the 1st down.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 36.
Come on, let's go. Grand 38. Grand 38.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here we go. Grand 38.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll work his way inside the 30 now to the 28. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Here's Reddick. And he's able to pick up the 1st down here before he goes down at the 26. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of it's been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. They go play action here on 1st down. Out to the flat for Reddick. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll make it a 2nd down. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Come on, let's go.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. The left side completion to Jones. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line.
Offside. Defense.
So offside's the call, and they understandably decline it.
And this is why we're seeing more and more teams hiring that one coach to the staff that's in charge of all these things. This one's minor. It's pretty easy to figure out, but all the game management stuff, trying to help out the head coach in his decision-making process.
And they've got another 1st and 10 as the penalty keeps this drive moving. Now back to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
We've seen good cover skills on display throughout this game, really from both teams. And there's another nice example there of them making it difficult to complete a pass.
And not even back to the line of scrimmage this time as they're on him quickly once more. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
Let's go! Brand 38! Brand 38!
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. Have to kick this field goal, don't you?
No question about it. Look at the clock. Look at the situation. Kick the field goal.
So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. And that will break our tie and give them a 3-point lead. So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Fielded about a yard deep. And Denver getting set to take the field. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. A good first down call as the screen play gets them 9.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves them with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the gun, it's Keenum. It's caught by Sanders. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there at 22. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. On 1st and 10, here's Keenum. Wide open receiver complete. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run because we envision them in offenses, catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. They fake the handoff. Now Keenum. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Ezekiel Ansah in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
It's interesting, partner, that most defenses try and guard the 35-yard line actively because they think the way kickers are nowadays, about a 52-yard field goal, they're kind of giving up points. But you get even deeper into territory, you get into the red zone, they're going to guard it even more, which means more pressure, more blitzing.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Third and long. It's Keenum. And that is incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And McManus able to put it through. And in the 4th quarter, this game is tied. Well, you talk about clutch. That one was right down Broadway, and this game's all even here in the 4th.
Yeah, he didn't leave any doubt, did he? Good snap, good hold, dead center. Almost like a big-time golfer in a major, firing at a pin from the fairway, trying to win the tournament going down the stretch.
Now Jones. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards, up to the 27-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's been a good workhorse. I know we use the word workhorse a lot, but he's been a good workhorse for him in this one.
No doubt about it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's what you're looking for if you're a back, because that means everything's coming together for you. The big guys up front have created space. You've run through it. You've probably gotten some help even from the wide receivers who want to catch passes as opposed to block, but they're helping out too.
Yeah, everyone's pitching in. He's had a good game. And he's brought down after a very nice gain.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So that one will be accepted. The gun. They'll look to throw. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there, and it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That time it fell incomplete. So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
They'll run it now out of the gun. Big hold of the 30. He's at the 50. The 30. The 20. And he's all the way down to the 13-yard line. It's a big play there for the Lions. 71 yards.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone.
Here we go! Grand 38!
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a 2nd and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3.
Come on, let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
Now it's It's the former Bronco. This is C.J. Anderson looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Come on, let's go!
They'll look to throw. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's 4th down.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. It's picked up. A live ball here, remember.
We've been at enough practices, and how many times have we stood on the sidelines and a unit goes out to kick a field goal and hear a special teams coach say, make sure you protect. First thing, protect. And here they give up a block.
Yeah, especially in a tight game like this, tied second half. This is when execution is so key.
They go over everything in the huddle. The last thing you're going to hear everywhere, make sure you protect. That didn't get done.
Now a play fake, and it's Keenum. And some room to maneuver. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. It's a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd down. This is Freeman. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But the bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
To throw, it's Keenum. Throw left side, complete to Scott. And he'll be out of bounds at the 25-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
Here's Freeman. Shreds the tackle. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
Well, partner, I know this type of running back. I mean, this size, this intensity usually gets better as the game goes on. I can just tell you from experience, the first few quarters, oh, you're eager. You come running up there, I'm going to tackle this guy. By the 4th quarter, you're coming up and thinking about it.
And D-line wearing down 4th quarter. Yeah, that's not a guy they want to see consistently. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. Time for a break. We'll come back and see how it all shakes out after this. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They've got it 1st and 10 as they search for a go-ahead score. A couple of first downs have them to the 40 now on 1st and 10. Now a first down throw. Keenum. And Sutton hauls it in over the middle. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. It'll be a pickup of 16 and a Bronco first down. And movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
The crowd's not doing that O-line any favors.
Home field advantage is really kicking in, making it very difficult for them to hear the snap count.
Back to throw, Keenum. That's caught left side by Jake Butt. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. 16 yards there, 2 straight plays of 16 yards and another first down. And 2 big plays, one after the other. Now all of a sudden, they're on the march.
Got to feel good about what they've just gotten done, and now feel really good about what's in front of them.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Back to the running game. It's Freeman. And he's going to get this one down to the 30. And now the Lions going to stop us momentarily as they call a timeout, as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Movement by one of the Broncos up front, and in comes the flag.
False start, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Now it's Keenum. That's complete over the middle to Callaway. He gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back.
Offense.
They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
Finds Jake Butt over the middle. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. Freeman. So a nice job to break the 1 tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as it comes with 1:04 left to go in the game. So a defensive timeout, chance to regather, regroup, and get set as we resume action. And he missed it. That was neither far enough. It wasn't even on target. It's no good, and a costly one there as this game remains tied here in the 4th. So it was a golden chance to go ahead here in the final moments, but he misses for a 2nd time in this game.
Brandon, either one of those go, and they might be on their way to a victory. Instead, they're going to have to hold on here defensively just to force overtime.
And Detroit getting set to go now. They need to get this around the 40 to have a chance to win it in regulation. From the 40, it's a 57-yard field goal, so that gives you a gauge.
And all they're trying to do now is pick up yardage in good chunks and get out of bounds to stop the clock. If they end up running a play and get tackled in bounds, they're worried the clock may run out on them and finish the game.
And they'll have to be careful how they handle. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Bruce Irvin in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. They'll drop to throw. And it's incomplete. It was Darian Stewart that time who was able to knock the pass away. This secondary as a unit, they've worked really well together in this one, especially late.
A lot of cohesiveness, a lot of communication, and some great athleticism. They're playing so well now, a nickname is sure to follow. They're going to have to name this whole unit soon.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
We got 3. Here we go. 1.
Here's Johnson. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout, as it'll come with 36 seconds to go in half number 2. And now following that timeout, the defense back out onto the field. Here's Sam Martin now, as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Just a 2-yard return there following a punt of 48. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. They have a little bit of time here to get into field goal range. Not much. In a tie game, you don't want to do anything crazy, right?
I agree with you on that one. Risk reward, okay? If you go for it, what is the absolute reward on this? But the risk is probably greater. Run the clock out, get to overtime, and try and win it there.
All right, we'll see if they do just that. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And we've got free football. 4 quarters done, and we're dead even. We'll have overtime after this timeout. And here in overtime, if the team that receives the ball scores a touchdown, it's over. If they don't, we can still have some more football.
That's exactly right. If they go down and kick a field goal, the other team gets it or score a touchdown to win the ball game. If both teams kick field goals, the next team to score wins. But if the receiving team throws a pick six or fumbles the ball and it gets picked up by the defense and they score, the game is over at that point.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And Denver getting set to take the field. They're set for their first drive here in overtime, and this is where the crowd can really become a factor.
They've had to battle it all day, but I know what you're saying. In overtime, that gets doubled, doesn't it? At least, because now the crowd really wants to be involved and help their team. And that first drive can dictate the whole thing because they know if this team takes it downfield and scores a touchdown, it's game over.
And it's been loud in here so far. Able to shake free for about 7 up to the 35.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
First throw of overtime for Keenum. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
So a big play in this opening drive of overtime. Now looking at a 3rd and 3. Working from the gun, Keenum. Oh, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And they take possession 2 yards away from midfield at the 48-yard line. A costly mistake here in OT.
And you know what they say, when you throw an interception like that in overtime, you don't usually get a chance to throw a second one. I mean, I'm not sure the analytics on it. Let's ask Marvin, our statistician, to ring that down for us. That's typically how coaches and teams feel about it. If you throw one, you likely cost yourself the game.
And Detroit getting set to go now. They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Von Miller in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Come on, let's go!
They're going to look to throw. Caught on the right side by Jones. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
In overtime, you have to be smarter than that.
A personal foul just can't happen. Have to have poise.
Here we go! What? 90! What? 90!
Now Riddick. And he'll get 3 down to the 34-yard line.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Come on, let's go! What? 90!
They run a draw here on 2nd down. And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee?
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Let's go! What?
Following the penalty, Anderson. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
Let's go! Brad 38! Brad 38!
Back to throw. And to the left side here, Wilson. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives them a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
Let's go! Brad!
They'll set up to throw. He goes underneath for Anderson. He'll get the 1st down and more inside the 20. And he's going to get it down to the 14-yard line.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense.
Well, they stopped him shy of the marker, thought they were bringing up 4th down, and then that penalty.
Let's face it, they thought they had bent,
Here we go!
but could absorb that, right? Instead, they resulted.
And he's into the end zone for a touchdown and a game winner in OT. Now, partner, a great game that we got to see and making it extra special. Not only did I get 4 quarters with you in this one, I got some overtime, a little whipped cream on top.
Look at you, trying to make this whole thing palatable.
I just want you to pay for my meal later.
You really just wanted 4 quarters what you wanted, but how much fun was that? We had that type of a game where it got us to overtime, and then we get the dramatic ending to finish things off as well. What a game.
So for Detroit, it'll be a .500 start as the win gets them back to 2-2. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for Denver, they'll sink now to 0-4. And fortunately for them, they'll have the early bye next week as they return to action in Week 6. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew here at EA Sports, I'm Brandon Gaudin saying so long, everybody.